Alright everybody, welcome back in. This is going to be yet another Stormgate cast, and I'm Algorithmore, and this game is going to be played out by my buddy, my pal. This is Aureil Stormgate in the blue Celestial. Keeps flying away from me. And his opponent is going to be, I believe, a Japanese player, although I have not cast a game of his before. I looked up this name ahead of time, and I believe it is Kita Kyokawa. Kita Kyokawa, if I've got that right. If I've got it wrong, he may also be a Chinese player, as these characters are also popular in Chinese language. I don't speak either of those languages, so I will do my best. I will try and call him Kita Kyokawa in this game. He's playing the Infernal, as we can see here, and has already made this cool little avenue of Shroud. And I haven't seen players doing that necessarily. If you're curious, at the moment, Kito Kyokawa is on the leaderboard in the top 100. So, Aureil, we all know, is also a top of the ladder kind of guy. And so, once again, it's just going to be a couple of strong players showing us how this patch 0.4.1. We're still waiting for the hotfix to the hotfix, and we'll see if Aureil has any answer to it right now. As what I'm talking about here is, of course, the brand new brutes, and they're feeling just a little overtuned. And we see right away here some creeping going on. Oh, this is interesting. Another cool little. The imps turn for just half a second, and then they walk so brazenly through the AoE, but they just get a couple shots off. And 4 phantoms out of that. Thanks to, and again, this is incredible with the shroud spread here. Again, remember, shroud speeds up your building, so the little farm here is going to speed that up. I've been trying to find good spots for my farm. This one's going to block mining a little bit. I don't know if that's the best. Meanwhile, Kita Kyokawa is still over here creeping. Use the phantoms to do the initial tanking here, which means most of that damage was put on temporary units. That's not going to matter. That's, of course, good play there. And went for vision before health. That's probably just a preference thing. What's going on back here for Aureil? Oh, Aureil is doing what Aureil likes to do, which is to... There's a little wall here, now that the final Legion Hall's up. And we're going to just go straight into Tier 2 and Tier 3 here. That means we're going to see, as we can already see here, Seraphims popping out. And once we get the Arc Station up to Arc Fortress, we might be up to Archangels being added as well. Although it looks like Kita Kyokawa is moving across the map, although just going creeping possibly here. I think that was the sound, yeah, of phantoms dying. But if you can get the phantoms doing just a little bit of tanking like we saw there, they soak up some of that damage. And now we've got 2 healing camps here for Kita Kyokawa, and Aureil kind of wants them, but also wants to pick off Gaunts if he can. We do have about 8 Gaunts here. Here come in the 4 Seraphim. The Seraphim immediately get chased away by the Gaunts. And there was some pretty good control there by Kitoko to grab his Gaunts and use them to fight back while the brutes were still fighting and creeping. So able to take that out. So still getting the creep income. And Aureil was not really able to get what he wanted out of that, which was to harass those units, kill the Gaunts, and maybe take out some of the creeps. So instead, he's now gone take out his energy camp, which is, of course, very useful for this kind of build where you have units that rely on energy. And as we're seeing here, these units, these Seraphim, are optimized for creep camps. They don't take very much damage from the creeps, and they deal extra damage to the creeps. So, absolutely optimized. That's their niche. Although, in the current builds, Their niche also is, I believe, avoiding Nano Swarm when you're playing against a Vanguard, and just being an annoying air unit when you're playing against Infernal. And that's largely because Infernal doesn't have reliable anti-air. Probably we're going to see something added to the kit in a new unit, and for the moment some of the options I think are placeholders. That's just my feeling on it, and that's largely because uh, in earlier patches when we were complaining, we being the Infernal players, I'm an Infernal player, when we were complaining about not having anti-air, we used to joke about giving the Hellborn uh, anti-air, and then one day they just did, and we woke up and thought maybe we were still dreaming. But that's where we're at right now. And the Hellborn's had a few changes to it as well, partly thanks to its role as anti-air right now. So far, these two are playing the standard Isle of Dread or Isle of Dread strategy, which is just don't engage, just play single player for a while here. Other than a couple little Seraphims floating out. But I think partly this is not necessarily Aureil's normal style, and that's because Aureil likes to be aggressive and have fun builds, and you try cool things out that might catch your opponent by surprise. Sure, he's really good at macroing, but if he chooses to play a macro game, he's probably going to cheat that way too. Try and go extra greedy, extra macro, and hit you with a max army really early or something like that. So him sitting back like this and being a little more defensive is not quite his style. And I think what it's speaking to right now is just the nature of the balance between these two factions and not wanting to. Oh, this is interesting. What are those Shadow Flyers doing? They're not going for prisms, are they? Sorry, I got distracted here because what are they're just scout Shadow Flyers? I mean, they are useful. Boom! Finally gets an impact there. Little chalk bear screaming, "Hey, donate some money to the Children's Hospital." I'm pretty sure that's what he's screaming. I'm not sure. What happened to those? There they are, Seraphim, chilling out over here. I think they made these little icons bigger on the map, which means they're hiding the units beneath them even better. Oh, didn't see this coming. So Cutico's got a huge swarm of Spriggans here. This is not exactly the current meta. And that's because the current meta is exploit brutes. So I do like when players play off meta when the meta is exploit something that's currently imbalanced. And the reason for that is it means that they're practicing for after the patch. Right now you can play the patch and just make mass brutes and try and, farm MMR. Or you can play the next patch and not play brutes very much at all, knowing that they're probably going to get a nerf, and trying to find builds and strategies that work without relying on that exploit. And maybe that's what we're seeing out of Kitokawa right now. Possibly. Oh, it just like what happened there? No, it just re-upped right as they flew away. And of course, Aureil does know that there is this big ball of Spriggans. And I should mention in the recent patch, was it 04 or 041? I think it was 04. They basically nerfed Spriggans a lot, but then made them so that they produce 2 at a time. So that I think altogether that might have been a buff. I'm not certain. It might have been a buff, but some of my Infernal playing friends tell me they don't feel very fun to play with, so they certainly don't think that they're a buff. And I've never liked Spriggans because I'm not a huge fan of airplay, so I haven't really sat down with them and played them. I have to say they look pretty cool right now. I like seeing this massive swarm of them over just seeing a smaller swarm. It's kind of cool. And this is a pretty big air force we're seeing out of Kitokyo, and it looks like he wants to do something with it. It's going to come over here and do what? Because, yeah, you can take this camp, but the trees are not down. And here we go. Seraphim are not actually going to be very useful against this, whereas the Scythes and the Archangel actually are probably going to do pretty good. I'm not sure. So we'll have to see here. There's just so many Spriggans. Can't they just jump on the Archangels and just murder them down? I don't know. But it's Seraphim. I really cannot tell what's going on here. Wait a second. All the Spriggans die? Or they're just all obscured? They're all obscured by the Seraphim, so I couldn't see them. Even if there's no collision with air units, shouldn't there be collision between enemy air units? And I'm not certain. Because they're all just occupying the same space, it kind of looks like. At least when they were all clumped over there. And it looks like Kito Kyokawa is getting the best of this. I wasn't sure who's going to win this. But the Spriggans are trying to jump on top of the Archangels. And they flying. That Archangel is so low. Why didn't we finish him off? It's at 26 HP. But Kito Kyokawa retreats. Still making more Sprigs. And putting down, what do we got here? More Twilight Spirals. It's a Spriggan commitment here. And it's Scythes, Archangels, and the initial Seraphim here. I don't think I'd be continuing to add Seraphim. I'd add more Scythes, maybe, yes. Maybe Archangels. So I think Archangels are kind of good against the Spriggan mass. I'm not sure what else you would add. Maybe Vectors to this, because they have a pretty good anti-air. Maybe Argents, I guess, if Argents aren't super great, but they have a lot. They can, hit air and wouldn't be useless against this composition. Okay, so these units are going to camp out over here. Looks like Strike Nose can still reach them. And while they've been aggressive on this side of the map, they haven't got a ton of damage done yet. They were over here damaging some of this area. But right now, Aureil hasn't expanded out here. And again, this is a fairly timid expansion pattern for Aureil. In a different patch, he might be up to 5-6 arrays by now. Hellborn coming in to knock down the trees. Now remember, Hellborn don't have that splash anymore. That's why they're having trouble knocking the trees down. They can only do them one at a time. Spriggans get over here, do a lot of damage, but here come the Scythes and the Archangels in. Archangel down, another Archangel down. This is what I was thinking the Spriggans should be able to do. They do have anti-heavy damage, and again, it's just very hard to tell who's winning this. And the Seraphim are definitely winning against the ground army. The Spriggans are just trying to win. There's just so many of them. I think that helps them. There's probably more overkill from these sides. And again, the Spriggans decide to leave. Oh no, they're maybe just regrouping up. Bye-bye collection array. What were they worried about? Those Animancers, maybe? Animancers definitely could do harm to the Spriggans. When they're in a big ball like that, if they get hit by one of those Dark Prophecies, that could be the end. We're up to Arc Fortress here. It is low. I think that may have been from those Spriggans harassing it earlier. And I'm wondering if we have any other Arc ship or Arc station. So that looks like it's our only Arc ship. Spriggans are back. And, oh, there's a couple strike zones there that could just finish off no problem. We want to go for these prisms. There's some invisible units up here, but oh, nice Dark Prophecy. Wow. And the size on top of them as well, they're getting pretty low here. Aureil getting a little fancy there, using the Unseen Veil, making his units invisible, and then going for the hidden Dark Prophecy, trying to get a lot of these units while they're clumped up, like right now. And boom, do we get a Dark Prophecy? Boom, there we go, a couple Dark Prophecies. Oh my goodness! Holy moly, that was every single Spriggan gone. Every single one. I wish I was looking at the supply before that. Oh, are those Spriggan bodies? They rain from the sky? I didn't realize that, but holy moly. That was definitely the tides turning in favor of Aureil. And we still have a ton of Sprigs back out, but maybe it's these Dark Prophecies. I didn't realize that this base had been taken by Kitakawa. And oh no! The Dark Prophecies again. Just look at those corpses! That's got to be a good 20 or 30 Spriggans in just what, 1 or 2 Dark Prophecies. So the winners of this game, I wish we had kill counts. These are like clutch Animancers, probably got a good 50 kills each. And Kito Kyokawa has got every single base. This is Kito Kyokawa's game to lose. He's behind in supply, though he has a little bit of a bank. I'm not sure why he's not dumping. Okay, he's got Weavers and a Mag. Where are the Brutes? Where are the Brutes? Look at these imps coming down here. Weavers here getting picked off by Seraphim. Hellborn picked off as well. The Spriggans trying their best, but there's just not enough. The Spriggans we've sacrificed dozens of Spriggans to this army already, and we just are unable to restock them. Dark Prophecy's going down again, and this slow means it's just so punishing on those Spriggans. More Spriggans showing up, but I think it's time to do the Brute swap. Like, just pump out 20 Brutes and march them down here and watch them destroy, buildings for a few minutes while the Seraphim try and figure them out. What are these imps? It looks like Aureil's gonna start taking out bases. Not that this base is up mining. A couple imps will come in here to maybe start mining, but there's nothing to mine now. There's no base anymore. These are just a parade of imps to their own doom. More imps parading to their doom. More imps parading to their doom. Oh, here we are. Spriggans trying to go for this array again. What a crazy game with all... Like, we have all these bases, but they're not mining. Okay, this one mined a ton of Therium. Is this, like... These all mined out? No, okay, this one's mining. But I guess... I mean, you need to move your imps off Therium. But... No wonder he's struggling to find... to make more Spriggans. He cannot get enough Therium. Here we have imps going down. Manifest Shroudstone didn't last very long. Here this base is going to go down too. This, now we got some units coming. Shadow Flyers unfortunately get just taken out by these sides before they even have a chance to get in there. And now this base is likely to go down as well. I feel like Kyokawa doesn't have... Okay, Hellborn. That might be an answer. Oh, but wait a second. Huge Dark Prophecies here. Oh, that's hard to see. Hard to see. And now the Air Force shows up here. No. Oh, poor Hellborn. One by one they go down. You hear their cool new death cries. And that's GG at Akita Kyokawa.